This is Viterbi Voices.
Coming to you from the University of Southern California, Viterbi School of Engineering.
We're here to give you the inside scoop on research, classes, student life, and so much more.
All of these shared by students, faculty, alumni, and other members of the USC community.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Viterbi Voices. As usual, I am one of your hosts. My name is Paul Ledesma, Executive Director of Undergraduate Admission here at the USC Viterbi School of Engineering.
And as usual, hello, I'm your other co-host. My name is Maya, a current senior studying Industrial and Systems Engineering here at the Viterbi School of Engineering.
So last week, Maya, for all of our, 6 or so regular listeners, I said I was grumpy and I was tired. I'm grumpier and tireder today.
Oh boy.
Sorry. It's been a long day. I have to say it to get it out of my system. Otherwise, I know I'm going to react in different ways to different
What's that
things.
quote? It's like what you resist persists. So let it out.
What you resist persists.
Yes, I think it's a quote from Jeff Warren, who does these guided meditations on the Calm app.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Give me an example outside of what I just said. Help me absorb and understand this.
Like if you're feeling a certain emotion, like let's say I'm feeling I'm really nervous for, let's say a test on Tuesday.
Yeah.
If I don't admit that to myself or externally, then that's just going to be bottled up inside of me. And that's a negative thing.
Got it. So you got to embrace it. You got to, identify it. You got to be able to work through it. You got to live in it. You can't try to fight it off. You got to live in it and get through that feeling.
Yeah, just accept it.
I'm here. I'm accepting my grumpiness. I'm accepting it. To give context, it's the end of the day. We're recording this literally at 4:48 p.m. on Friday. So and I have had 13 interviews today that I conducted. To give you a sense of what my day was like. And I had about 8 minutes at 11:50 p.m. to eat lunch. And then, use the restroom a few times in between these things. And literally just been sitting here on Zoom calls.
All right. Well, what are you looking forward to when you're off? Are you doing anything fun this weekend?
It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's a Super Bowl. We have got a Super Bowl party planned. I shouldn't say planned. We are attending a Super Bowl party down the street here. Our neighbors are putting together a whole big spread. They got a 70-pound roast pig. They've got,
wow.
It's going to be a whole spread. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff. We're bringing some stuff to snack on too. It's my signature Super Bowl thing that I do. And it's not fancy at all. But every time we make it, everybody eats every part of this. It is, those little cheap sausages you get at the store, the little Smokies?
Yeah.
Like vacuum packed bag, little Smokies. So you take the little Smokies, wrap them in bacon, put a toothpick through them, sprinkle them with brown sugar, and then put them in the oven for a little while. Those things are dynamite. Sugar, fat. It's got everything.
All of the above. No, actually, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's my uncle would make that every single year for our Christmas. And that I didn't really like meat growing up, but those things, I ate those like crack. They were so good.
It's bad. They're so bad. They're so bad, but it's a Super Bowl thing. What are you doing? Are you doing a Super Bowl get together? I'm assuming your apartment is going big on Super Bowl, no?
Yeah, actually, one of my roommates is from the Bay Area, so we have a Niners fan.
Niners.
But I will actually be visiting my parents. They're just down in San Diego for the month, so I'm going down and watching the Super Bowl as a family, which is exciting.
What are they doing in San Diego?
Always used to do. They're just hanging. They realized that they could work remotely. They miss their children. We're in LA. My little sister's in San Diego. And they were like, oh, we'll escape the Midwestern winter for a little bit.
That's cool. Yeah. It's really weird. My wife and I were just talking, maybe next weekend for the long weekend, we might go down to San Diego.
Yeah, I'm so excited to head down there. It's just I always forget how close it can be if you go out of town without traffic.
Yeah, it's the traffic to San Diego. That is a pain in the butt. You got to get it at the right time.
Yeah.
Well, so much stuff to talk about. And you have a big announcement. I don't know if you're going to tell everybody if you want to or not. We won't do it now. We'll do it. We'll do it on the back end of this.
Okay.
So come
Okay.
back to the back end of our episode to find out whether Maya is going to share a big announcement or not. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm putting
I
you on the
actually
spot.
will be. I will be sharing it because there was an update like an hour ago.
Are you
So,
serious?
mm-hmm.
Oh wow! So I don't even know what's going to happen. Well, maybe I do know what's
But
going to
yeah,
happen, but
yeah.
yeah, I think I know what's happening.
It's an
Uh,
update that enables me to be able to share it.
got it. That's so to the point of you are able to, based on what we were talking about. Now it's like done, and then we
Yes.
can move forward. This is great.
Yes.
Okay, good. So we got a big announcement on the other side of the episode.
Yes.
Also, things we should talk about is transfer application deadline. It's next week. If you're planning to transfer, get it in. All the details are on our website. If you think about transferring, get that in February 15th. Oh my gosh, yeah. And all of the student blogs are going off right now. So if you wanted to know more about majors and things like that, the student blogs at viterbivoices.usc.edu have just been like redone and revamped. And there's like lots of really
hmm
cool, great content there. So
Yeah,
check that
Paul,
out.
how do you find the blogs on the Viterbi admissions page? I know that was something that confused me a little bit.
Your blogs at viterbiadmission.usc.edu, if you scroll down, they're right there.
Okay, cool.
They're right there. So at the left, you'll see the Viterbi Voices logo. You'll see a feed of the blogs, and then there's a button to click on See Everything.
Okay. Lovely.
And then I think I also know what you're inferring with that question, and we might change some of the top level navs just to make it a little easier to find.
Okay.
But yeah, because now that we've incorporated everything, we might want to move some stuff around. If you're on any page of Viterbi admission, at the top you'll see a link to blog, and you'll also see a link to meet the students. And the blog goes to all blog posts, and the students goes to just your guys' Viterbi Voices page.
Okay, cool.
So, but
Awesome.
it's dynamite. Did you like getting in there and doing that?
I really did. Yeah, the blog was fun to write. If you guys are interested in what the heck industrial and systems engineering is, feel free to check out the blog. I think I explained it relatively well at a high
Yeah, you did.
level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. It's very cool, and I'm just loving it that it's all in one spot and we can all see it together, and it's really really cool. So,
hmm
anyways, what's this episode all about? Let's get to the point of the podcast. We're just
Yeah,
catching
this
up,
is
chit chatting, and gabbing.
Yeah, this is a new kind of episode for us. This is the first time doing it. Which honestly, like in hindsight, I think it turned out pretty well.
Cool.
So Peyton and we went to the Epstein Family Plaza this morning and we did some micro interviews with different students. So we had in mind this sort of episode, like if you've seen any of the recent trends, like there's sometimes where people will go up to people with a microphone and just ask like, hey, like what song are you listening to? Or like a specific fact. So we had these sort of micro
Hmm,
interviews where we went up
cool.
to different students. We asked them like what their major was, what they were involved in, sometimes like what engineering meant to them, what their favorite class was, what they were really into, and then any pieces of advice. And then we threw in a fun question there with some LA recommendations, asked them
Sweet.
if they were to take their friends or like somebody visiting to one place in LA, like what is that one don't miss place? Um,
Right.
yeah,
So
so
this is
you'll
like micro interviews. Got your finger on the pulse of the student body in this one. We're tapping into everything.
Yeah, the idea is like if you're walking around the Epstein Family Plaza, if you're walking around USC campus on a Friday, like these are the sort of students you'd see out and about doing their homework, doing their stuff.
All right, very cool. Let's dive right into this, and then we'll catch up with all of you on the back end of the conversation.
All right, so I'll have you guys first introduce your name, your major, and what you're involved in on campus.
My name is Max. I'm a junior here. I'm studying computer science and business, and I'm involved in a couple things, but my favorite one is AIM.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Mahek. I'm a freshman here, also studying CSBA, and I'm also involved in AIM consulting here on campus.
Oh, awesome. So our next question is, what has been your favorite class at USC?
That's a really interesting question. I would say so far my favorite class has been BUAD 308, which is business finance. Just a class I really enjoyed. I thought it was really a good mix of like conceptual, theoretical, but also practical. So I would say that's my favorite class so far.
Okay, cool.
Mine, it's probably a class I'm taking right now. It's CS 499 with Sven Koenig. It's on multi-agent systems, and basically, he's just the greatest teacher I've had in CS and absolutely amazing and super interesting material.
Okay, awesome. So our next question is also engineering related, and that is, what does engineering mean to you? It's a deep one.
Engineering to me, I feel like no problem is too big. Like everything can be broken down and solved. And, no matter how you can have difficult classes, different problem sets, whatever that may be, but that so well translates to the world of if you could just sit with something and understand it for long enough and really think about it, you can, do anything.
Perfect answer.
Yeah, I think Max really hit the nail on the head with that one. It's just about finding unique and innovative solutions to problems that you would have never been able to come up with before, and just experiment and find creative solutions.
Okay, I love it. One last kind of USC engineering related question. Why did you choose USC?
I found USC to be the absolute best school. Great location, great opportunities, great networking connections to make, and just overall the perfect fit for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of really great schools out there, and I've really seen a lot of my friends have great experiences at different schools. But what USC really stood out in for me was the ability to have the majors that I specifically wanted to do, and B, just have depth in so many different fields. I mean, the people I talk to, there's so many, everyone here is so passionate about their own thing, and it's so cool to see just, how much there really is to offer here to explore.
Okay, awesome. And one last fun question. If somebody is visiting you at USC and they're in LA, where would you take them?
I think Taco Zone.
Taco Zone?
Big fan, I have to say.
That's a really interesting question. I think the first thing would be definitely to explore more LA and USC specifically. But if they were to have more of a USC centric focus, I think a little bit of a controversial opinion, but Web Tower Rooftop.
Okay,
Web Tower Rooftop. I think it's something everyone has to see once.
Okay,
yeah, to
awesome.
be from there.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. So we just have a little intro. What's your name, major, and then what are some of your involvements on campus?
My name is Mary, and I'm studying computer engineering and computer science. And as of right now, I am taking part in a club called USC Learning Mission that is in its infancy stages, but set to help veterans in Armenia that are just coming back to teaching them how to learn English and possibly teaching them how to code as well. And I've also am set to start a editing position for Viterbi Conversation Ethics starting next week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And what year are you? I forgot to ask earlier.
I'm a sophomore.
Okay, awesome. Another quick fun USC question. What has been your favorite class here?
I think my favorite class has been the Writing 340.
Okay.
The Communication for Engineers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then, do you have any words of wisdom for future or prospective USC Viterbi students?
In the beginning, it might seem like you have a huge learning curve and things are really complex. But after a while, you just kind of get into it and you start to adapt to the environment and you just become way more comfortable and things aren't as difficult as they seemed initially.
Awesome. And then one for fun. So if somebody's visiting you here in LA or here at USC, where would be the first place you would take them?
It's hard. I'd say probably up to the observatory.
Ooh, Griffith Observatory?
Griffith Observatory, yeah.
That's mine as well. I took my friend who just visited there recently.
Yeah, it's really nice, and you get a nice view of LA too, so. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of your day studying, and thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you for joining us today. First, I'll just have you introduce your name, what your major is right now, and if there's anything you're involved in on campus or anything else you want to introduce, honestly.
Okay, so my name is Gabriela Mejia. My major is aerospace engineering, and then I applied for Troy Camp, but I'm not sure if I got in yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Awesome.
best of luck with that. Let's see. Our next question is, what has been your favorite class at USC that you've taken so far?
I would have to say Origins of Jazz Dance.
Oh.
It wasn't like a actual dancing class. Rather, we learned about the history of jazz and how that ties into different cultures and things like that.
Okay, very cool. Next is, why did you choose USC?
I've actually been coming to USC to take classes since like 6th grade. It was part of a USC program that I was in called NAI, Neighborhood Academic Initiative. And every Saturday we would take classes here at USC. And then during the weekdays we would take our morning classes such as English and math here. So I became really familiar with the campus. And then through that program they also offer a full ride scholarship. So USC was just like financially, and it was also locally like the best school.
Okay, awesome. So one last, more serious question. Do you have any words of wisdom for future or prospective students?
I would say students who are coming into USC that come from a similar background, such as myself, like being Hispanic, coming from like a public school, or just sort of like low income, from parents and stuff like that. I would say one of the biggest things that I kind of struggled with is imposter syndrome. And I was told that I would experience imposter syndrome, and I was like, no, I'm never going to experience that. But it's definitely a real thing, and especially in my, the engineering class that I took, I felt like everybody understood it so well. And then coming from a public school where our physics class, even though it's like a physics class, it wasn't like we didn't even really learn physics. Mm-hmm. So just a difference in resources, but still having to work hard to maintain your spot. But I would just say it's possible, Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, awesome advice. And one last fun question. If somebody's visiting you in Los Angeles, let's say they're not from here, where is the first place you would take them?
I think I would take them to go eat. Maybe to the Ocha. Mm-hmm. I really like that place. It's Thai food, I believe. Either there or maybe Alvera Street. Mm-hmm. I think it's really cool. It's nearby, and yeah, there's a bunch of different places here, to experience.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for joining us today. Right. Hello. Thank you for joining us today. So the first thing I'll have you do is just introduce your name, your major, and anything you're involved in on campus.
Okay. My name is Kelly. I am a junior studying astronautical engineering, and I'm been involved in the Rocket Propulsion Laboratory and previously in Engineers Without Borders.
Okay, awesome. I was in Engineers Without Borders as well.
Cool.
What year? Okay, you said you were a junior. Okay, so my first question was, what is your favorite class at USC? What has been your favorite class?
I would have to say it's ASTE 524, which was the Introduction to Human Spaceflight with Dr. Reisman. He's just a really good lecturer, and I really enjoyed listening to his anecdotes since he's quite literally an astronaut. So
okay,
that's pretty cool.
That's crazy. That's so cool. So our next question, getting kind of deep. What does engineering mean to you?
I guess what first comes to my mind is applying science and being able to apply science so that it benefits humanity, turning the theoretical into something more realistic and tangible.
Okay, super cool. Great answer. Our next question is, why did you choose USC? I
chose it because of the specific program it had for astronautical engineering. I was really interested in space, and I knew that I liked physics and math, so I wanted to apply it, and USC had that option for me.
Okay, awesome. And our last, more serious question is, do you have any words of wisdom for future or prospective students?
Regarding engineering or just in general?
In general, engineering, whatever you want.
Don't forget to have a life outside of academics. Because it's so, I mean, you come to university for the academics, obviously, but just make sure that you graduate knowing at least, like, the place that you live in. You live in LA, like, know LA a little bit. Mm-hmm. Don't just be stuck in your little bubble, because that's really easy to do.
It's a great reminder. I wish I could go back and tell my freshman year self that a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome. So one more fun question. If somebody is visiting you in LA and you need to take them to one place, where are you taking them?
This is kind of basic, but I think Santa Monica. Mm-hmm. Because it has basically everything in one little area. And it's not as scary as USC's surroundings, so it's a good little getaway.
Yeah, it's a very quintessential LA thing, I feel like, to go to Santa Monica. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time and joining us today. It's been great to chat. All right. Hi, guys. So we are midway through this episode, and Peyton and I wanted to take a moment to debrief and also ask each other the questions. So I think, like, in listening to the students' answers, I think there's a lot of similarities to different things that I would answer, and just in general, it's been good to get a taste of what they're saying. So I think we're both wanting to answer the questions ourselves. So yeah, Peyton, first, would you mind introducing yourself, name, major, year in school?
Totally. Hi, guys. So my name is Peyton. I'm a current senior mechanical engineer. And some things I'm involved in on here on campus is the Makers organization. I was a project manager last year, and this is a club where you join electrical, mechanical, and computer science students, all in building different fun projects. I'm also a part of the Society of Women Engineers on their officer council. I'm on the USC ski and snowboard team, and I play club soccer here.
Woohoo! Peyton, super cool. Okay. So we'll go through these questions for you then. So Peyton, what does engineering mean to you?
Okay, starting off with a hard one here. I think from a young age, it's just really resonated with me that it's ability to problem solve and ability to kind of impact the world around you in a positive way. I think when I look around on a day-to-day basis, almost everything around us has been touched by engineers across the board, and many different disciplines will kind of come in interdisciplinary to make each object we interact with on a daily basis possible. So I think for me, engineering's always been about possibility and just kind of improving the world around you.
Mm-hmm. Great answer. Next question. What has been your favorite class at USC?
Ooh, my favorite class. Okay, this is going to be a really hot take, but I think I would have to say junior year, mech ops. And Maya's laughing. We are roommates. She knows what mech ops is like, but it's this really unique class where they take every junior mechanical, astronautical, and aerospace engineer, and you take one class together. And you do labs, and it's honestly a pretty grueling class, but you really learn so much, and I think that's one of the first times that I kind of got that firsthand, like, do a lab, complete the lab, analyze the data, write the report, pull conclusions from it. And so I think it's a little bit of a gauntlet, but I think coming out it made me a stronger engineer.
Mm-hmm. One of those things that I feel like probably makes you a lot closer to all the students that you're in that class with. You feel probably a lot of camaraderie in your major, like, wow, we just did this very hard thing together.
Oh, totally. I think we came out like a cohort after that, which is so fun, and just a lot of really good friendships were made that year.
Okay, exciting. So next question. Why did you choose USC?
Ooh, I love this question. I am from pretty local, from Ventura, about like an hour and a half away. But I chose USC because it was the perfect blend of a big school feel, which I wanted, the big sports, the big activities, the big environment, but a really small engineering school. So within the school, I think there's about 80 or 90 so mechanical engineering seniors. And so you get those like intimate class size and like personalized education in like a really big school environment. And at the end of the day, I came for the people. I think if you asked most of us why we came, it was for the people. And when I visited, it was a group of people I wanted to be a part of.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So do you have any words of wisdom for future or prospective students?
Words of wisdom. I think things that everyone has said today we've interviewed have really resonated with me. Like, make it count. You get 4 years here. And I think it's really important to take advantage of all the opportunities this school presents, both academically, socially, and just really make your days count because it's some of the most special time of your life.
Mm-hmm. Great answer. So finally, the fun question. If somebody's visiting you in LA, where would you take them?
Definitely Griffith Observatory. I know we touched on this earlier, but yeah, I had a friend visit a couple weeks ago and we took her to Griffith. So I think that'd be my go-to spot.
What would you do there?
What do we do there? Okay, so Griffith Observatory is kind of over by like the Hollywood area. So ideally, I would go get dinner somewhere or like lunch somewhere over there and then take a picnic blanket up at sunset, lay it out, and sit and watch the sunset from the observatory. And then once the sun sets, you go in and you get to do the whole museum and then look at that really big telescope.
Okay. Very cool. Well, thank you for answering the questions and being out here interviewing people with me today, Peyton.
Of course. Okay. Well, hello there. I'm back again, but this time on the other side of the coin as I interview my friend Maya right here. So let's start with a little introduction, name, major, things you're involved in.
Hey guys, if you're not sick of Peyton and Maya's voice already, my name is Maya. I'm a current senior studying industrial and systems engineering. On campus, I'm involved in a variety of different things, very involved in this podcast. But then in the past, I've also worked as a product manager for Lava Lab, which is a campus product incubator. I was on the Engineers Without Borders team. I also did interdisciplinary research my freshman and sophomore year, so I was working on with a team of social workers and engineers studying COVID's impact on different communities in Los Angeles. And yeah, I've just been,
There's not much Maya doesn't do around here.
I've been around. It's like as you get to be a senior, it's harder to list off all the different things that I've done.
I totally agree with that. I think you kind of pick things up, leave things behind, get new experiences. But yeah, Maya summed it up well. So let's go right off the bat. What is your favorite memory at USC?
Ooh, that's a good one. My favorite USC memory. Okay, this might be cheating because I don't know if it's officially at USC. But one of my favorite memories that has to do with USC was probably like first when I like found out I got into USC. So I was back at home in Wisconsin. That's where I'm from. And I just remember I was at a science Olympiad competition and I had kind of heard some rumors that USC like decisions would be coming out. But like ultimately like didn't like look too much into it because I was like super interested in USC and I didn't want to get my hopes up. But then I got home and I, for context, have a twin brother who also applied to USC. And as I got home, I saw like these two acceptance packages for USC sitting right next to each other. So I just like smile even remembering that moment and just how excited I was to like be accepted to USC and to get to share that moment with my brother. And yeah, even after having been here now, like that moment feels so much more impactful.
That's a beautiful memory.
Yeah, like remembering like how excited I was and now like at the end sort of my time at USC, like reflecting on how big that moment was in my life is really, really awesome. Yeah, so not really a memory at USC, but like directly before and the memory that made all the other memories possible.
I love that. So let's go with what has been your favorite class after that? That moment that sparked it all. What's been your favorite class?
That's a great question. One of my favorite classes was probably in industrial engineering, and the curriculum has changed a little bit, but this was specifically operations research deterministic modeling. And I've always been somebody who's interested in math and computers and like probability. So this class kind of combined everything into a very cool, applicable model. I had a really awesome professor who's like very renowned for her research. Her name is Phoebe Vinos. And in general, it was just a class where I learned a lot and I just really enjoyed the topic that we were going through. Yeah, we worked on some pretty cool projects.
That's awesome. And lastly, on the serious, what does engineering mean to you?
Oh, you hit me with the hard one last. Let's see. To me, an engineer isn't necessarily somebody who's just like good at math or good at science. For me, it's somebody who's like very good at problem solving. You know, I think math, science, and whatever engineering discipline we're studying or like we identify with. I think that provides a lot of frameworks to attack a problem, but ultimately I think engineering is like, you see a problem or you're given this task, and you just think very critically and deeply about how to do that the best as possible, how to make the process the most efficient, or how to like design the best system possible, which I really like that creativity. I feel like people don't talk about that enough, but like as an engineer, I think there's plenty of like creativity and like unique problem solving. So that's what being an engineer means to me.
Beautifully said, beautifully said. Last one for fun that we've been asking everybody. If someone's visiting LA, where are you taking them?
Very specifically, there is this one restaurant near USC, and every time my parents come or my friends come, I will always take them there. It's called Whole Box. It has like the best seafood I've ever had, and it's in this little area. It's called like Mercado La Paloma, I think. And yeah, it just has really fantastic seafood. I always get the ceviche and the fish tacos, and I think it's very California, particularly if you're coming from a place without like great seafood. I'm sorry, Wisconsin. Then like, yeah, this place is incredible.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for humoring us listeners as we kind of got to take a step and answer some of these questions, and we'll get back to tracking down people in the E-Quad and get you more Viterbi student content.
Yes.
And we're back. Okay, so I'm going to start off just asking your name, major, year, and what you're involved in on campus.
My name is Yusuf. I'm a senior in mechanical engineering. And you said, well, I'm not really involved in clubs, but I work at the BHE Makerspace, BHE Senior Design Lab, which is basically just a lab for students where they come in and work on their senior design projects. And it's been really great so far.
Awesome. And what has been your favorite class at USC?
So I think my favorite class so far has been what we call a senior design laboratory. It's like a class where you're supposed to work on your own project. So you come up with your own idea. You have to design it. You have to submit proposals and explain exactly what you have in mind. And then later on, you can go ahead and build your project. It can be really whatever, as long as it's within the realm of engineering. But it's really exciting because it really gives you like a hands-on experience on, engineering, which you usually don't get the chance in other classes.
Awesome. And what was your senior design project?
So we built like a wire electric discharge machine, which is basically like a very high precision cutter that uses electricity to cut any sort of metal, as long as it's conductive.
Awesome. And what is your favorite memory at USC?
My favorite memory at USC, I think it would be very much non-academic related. It's more like my sophomore year of college, where it was basically right after COVID, where freshmen people and sophomores came back to town, and it was just like an amazing time where everyone just like came back and met each other. Like everyone was really, really motivated to get to know each other, and it was a good time.
Yeah, that was such a transition too, from like friends you'd seen on Zoom and then to finally get to meet everyone in person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. And then kind of a deeper one, what does engineering mean to you?
So in general, I feel like engineering is really the bridge between, physics and actually constructing something. Because there's a lot of makers out there that do some DIY stuff, and most of them get cool stuff out the door. But if you really want to take it to the next level, to build something, you really do need the knowledge of physics and math to get to really sophisticated machines, for example. And I think engineering is really does that for you.
Awesome. And we have one more fun one. If someone's visiting you in LA, where would you take them?
I would probably take them to my lab.
Yeah.
That's where I mostly take them. Yeah. So where I work most of the time. I'll show them the machine shop. I'll show them the electronics section, and all the stuff that you can see there.
Yeah, it's a super awesome lab.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Cool. Well, thank you, Yusuf.
Thank you so much.
And we're back. So let's start off today with what's your name, year, major, and then what are some of your on-campus involvements?
I'm Porter Landfeld. I'm a senior aerospace engineering major, and on campus I'm a part of Viterbi Impact program, and I'm in Find Out the Data.
Awesome. And what has been your favorite class?
My favorite class, I think I'll have to say Mech Ops, which is AME 341, which is supposed to be one of the harder, more intensive AME classes, but you learn so much that it's worth all of the time and effort put into it.
So Maya's laughing too because I said the same thing when I answered the questions earlier. Awesome. And then why did you choose USC?
I personally chose USC because my dad went here, so I've been a lifelong USC fan. It's been my dream forever, and also it's just a great school and everything about it. The weather, the location, the academics, the sports, everything is awesome.
Awesome. And what is your favorite memory here at USC?
My favorite memory at USC? I don't know. There's a lot. I'm in the AME lab right now, so a little connected to that. Just the whole senior design project has been it's been so fun, and it's an academic project, whatever, but I've gotten closer with my team members, and it's just been a good experience overall.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your project?
So my project, we are prototyping a gapped trailing edge wing as an alternative to an aileron for roll control. So basically it's an alternative control surface that theoretically is more energy efficient, which we're still working out some of that, but it's looking good so far.
Awesome. And then do you have any words of wisdom for future or prospective students?
Words of wisdom. Go to class. Don't start skipping, or it's just a landslide and you'll never go back. And just try to experience everything you can. Go to different clubs. Get involved. That's one of the things I regret, is not getting as involved in some of the design teams and stuff like that, because there's so many cool people and so many smart people, and you'll learn so much. So that's something that I recommend, and something I regret not doing.
Awesome. And then a last fun one. If somebody's visiting you in LA, where would you take them?
Oh, that's hard. There's so many. I mean, you got to bring them to the beach. Griffith Observatory is cool. You got to bring them to a taco truck.
Yep.
Just some fun little LA things like that.
Those are probably the top 3 answers that we've heard across the board. What beach would you take them to?
Huntington Beach is my favorite.
Okay. Me too. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course.
Welcome back, everybody.
Very cool. Maya, what made you think about doing this? What was the inspiration of these micro interviews?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed my personal interactions, getting to know different people in Viterbi. I know everybody's involved in such a variety of different things, and everybody is really involved. So I thought it would be cool to talk to some just people that I had never met and just hit that interaction the first time. Peyton and I were reflecting on it. We were it felt a little awkward at first to be walking up to random people. We'd look are they on a Zoom call? Are they not? And asking them about questions about themselves. But ultimately, I think it was a really good glimpse into the Viterbi student body and just how diverse it can be, but how involved everybody is.
That's awesome. Very cool. What was the most shocking one where so an answer that you got that you weren't expecting?
Oh gosh. So we had 2 people one was an aerospace engineer and one was a mechanical engineer. Mm-hmm. And they said their favorite class at USC was Mech Ops, which is the most difficult class for a lot of these majors, who all have to take it. So I've heard horror stories. So that was really interesting to hear their logic and why that was their favorite class.
Well, it's funny is I've said this to many people, and it keeps coming up a lot. Oftentimes when I ask graduating seniors, what was the hardest class you took at USC? And I said, what was your favorite class you took at USC? And they often have this realization, even when they're talking to me, they don't realize it, that it was the same one. Because the struggle in getting through it and actually cracking the puzzle or figuring it all out or understanding it when it's all done, the accomplishment is what made it one of their favorite classes. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. There is that dichotomy of liking something and also it being the hardest thing ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So That was definitely exciting, and it was definitely a fun experience. A sunny Friday afternoon.
Awesome. Very, very cool. All right. So we teased it on the front end, but Maya, you because you surprised me earlier this week with this little bit of news, and so I'm glad you're able to like finalize it. But what's your big announcement? What's your big news? What's happening?
Yeah, I've definitely been ducking the question of what are you doing after graduation for a while now. But I can officially say, so now I officially have like the offer, everything's all set. But I will be working as an operations engineer at SpaceX after graduation.
Congratulations. Very,
Thank
very
you.
cool. Working at SpaceX as an operations engineer. That is fantastic.
Yeah, it
What
feels,
was,
I'm so
go ahead. Go
excited.
ahead. It feels, you ready for
It feels so surreal. I don't feel this old.
it? Do you know when you'll be starting? Are you taking time off after school to enjoy some time, or are you going straight into it?
Probably a couple weeks, but I will be starting in June probably. So,
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So essentially going straight into it. Do you know
yeah.
what you want to do in just those few weeks in between?
Probably go home, hang out with my parents. What's nice is I'll be staying in LA. You know, I'm living here now for school, and then that's where the job is posted. So,
Yeah,
like, I don't have to get a storage locker or something, which is really
that's
exciting.
cool. That's cool.
Um, yeah, just enjoying the summer a little bit.
Very, very cool. And then I know this is early, but you said you're looking at maybe Marina Del Rey. Is that where you're thinking about settling or getting a place? Where do you think you want to go? Because like SpaceX is right here in Hawthorne, basically the South Bay. I was telling you personally that like where I live, a lot of people work at SpaceX. There's a lot
Mhm.
of areas here.
Yeah, I definitely am looking to get closer to the beach. I guess
Hmm.
that's the only thing right now, like kind of
Yeah.
that side of Hawthorne versus where USC is. So we'll see. I haven't looked into it too much, honestly,
Yeah,
but
it's way early. I was just more curious
mhm.
out of anything else. Well, that is super, super exciting, and congratulations. Way to go.
Thank you.
It's have you met any people that work at USC that used to be, I'm sorry, that work at SpaceX that used to be at USC?
Yes, yes. I have a pretty good network. Somebody actually took their graduation photos. They graduated from Viterbi, and yeah, so that's been a really fun connection. And I know a lot of people who have interned there. So
Got it. Cool. Well, I'm excited for you. Congratulations. It's well deserved, well earned, and I'm excited to see what you're going to do there. And I'm sure that in the very near future we'll have you on for as one of our alumni interviews to talk about all the work that
I'm,
you do,
I'm I'm
all the
looking
work you do
forward
at
to it
SpaceX.
already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right. Well, cool. I hope everybody has a fantastic rest of their week. And I hope that after this last week of torrential downpours here in LA, that we get a little more sunshine to kind of just enjoy it, maybe dry out a little bit. And other than that, we will be back next week with another episode of Viterbi Voices. See you then, everybody.